Let me just tell you straight up that obviously I'm doing some work in the courts.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to see and hear some real tales of like some shocking stuff, some pretty average stuff, and some real kind of suffering, which is why and this will come out, a few weeks after this is in the news, which is why when I saw an article about this Gwyneth Paltrow trial.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, oh, okay, well, so, yeah, this guy got hit and hurt in a skiing accident, but what happened? Like, what suffering have you had? She said, straight-faced, well, I lost half a day of skiing. It gave me a white-hot rage I haven't felt in a long time.
Was it mainly Paltrow related, or
Oh, God.
It didn't help.
It doesn't help at all?
You just know, like, if we went to school with her, we would just sit in the back of the room, just going, Paltrow,
Paltrow,
until she cracked the shits at us. Like, you just know it. That's the type of.
Have you seen any photos of her in court?
Yeah.
Hey, would you consider that, like, how she looks and her attitude in those photos and what she's choosing to wear, etc., as somebody who's trying to garner sympathy from the common person?
I don't think she's got this weird sort of balance of like being completely comfortable with who she is, but also just being on a different planet and have no self-awareness about how it's kind of weird. Like, well, I'm not going to make an apology for who I am. We need to embrace who we are, but I'm an absolute twonk and. I'm completely out of touch.
And I'm going to embrace that.
And here's a Quim candle.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised hasn't been a weird product on this podcast yet. There you go.
Well, she said something the other day about like she couldn't get her favorite IV. Like she was
as in intravenous, as in saline solution.
Yeah, like the saline solution, the one that she usually likes to use wasn't available, and so she had to get this other one, and that was really annoying. I was like, sorry, what is she talking? Like it's a completely different world.
What?
Yeah, just get some IV hooked up when you're at home just to freshen up.
All right. Well, that's probably enough Paltrow for one evening.
Paltrow.
Oh, Paltrow.
Look, this is the Bit Weird But Fair Enough, I guess, podcast. Thanks for joining us again. Not sure why you have, but look, that's an issue for you to resolve internally.
Fair enough.
It is weird. It is weird that someone would come back to this. And speaking of, Rich, hello. It's your first time here. First time here since season 1. It's not your first time here. It's your first time here since season 1.
Really?
Have you forgotten? Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in the now.
All right. Well, presumably someone who does remember being on this podcast because he has quite a bit. It's Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hi. I don't live in the now. I always live in the past.
Do you remember Richard being on this podcast?
Yes. I'll just say yes. Don't ask me any further questions. Let's wrap it up nicely.
I love a yes with a question mark on it. Well, look, I'm going to tell you guys about a weird law because, Richard, even though you've been on the show, that's what we start with.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And Matt, you might have some personal insight into this, given that you have spent some time in that country. It is illegal to dance in the dark after midnight in Japan.
Huh.
Now, dancing after midnight was banned for generations because it was just too sinful. In 1948, because US soldiers occupied Japan, the ban was there to stop, Americans corrupting the good citizens of Japan with their swiveling hips and potentially lustful thoughts, I would imagine.
Yeah, so that hip movement after dark. That's a weird one.
So it still stands today? Is this what we're saying?
Oh, I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
No. I think if you've reached the point where you've got used women's undies in vending machines, you're probably all right to dance in the dark after midnight. It would seem kind of disparate, a legal system to me.
Yeah, the idea that it's sinful is like you said, a weird idea. That was that never ever came up. This idea of like doing something sinful, like puritanical style.
I was going to say, is there a sense? What's the sense of morality like over there? Like, and I'm not being obviously casting any kind of judgments, but is there that traditional Western sense of, Judeo-Christian sense of morality around sexuality and?
Yeah, I would say it's fairly. I mean, it's very conservative. I would talk to people who would just say that there is no homosexuality in Japan.
Oh.
Like it just doesn't, like in other countries, yes, but it's just not a thing. And not like it's because it's sinful. It's just like, oh, it just doesn't, you don't. Yeah. Why would it?
Which is why hard gay Razor Ramon had a career for a while, right?
That's right. They're
Which you can hear about on this feed. That's a bonus episode on this feed, by the way.
Yeah, hard gay histories. But yeah, there was an area, I think, in Tokyo that was like the gay area. But if you mentioned it to people, like, well, there's a gay area, like in, I think it was Shinjuku, that you could go. They would just go, no, there's not. So it's kind of the morality, like a lot of things in Japan, is like just don't really talk about it. And
whatever the Japanese equivalent of what you're talking about, Willis, is, they would say that probably.
I wish I could speak just enough Japanese to translate that for you, but I can't, I'm afraid.
Sorry, Rich. I actually do know what happened to the ban because it's in a paragraph that I got confused by, because they've actually written Japan finally lifted the ban in 2105. So
future.
Whether this article's from the future or
they're living in the future. Yeah,
I'm going to take that as 2015. So it says you can dance. Oh, I was going to say dance. That's fancy.
You can dance in the dark.
You can dance if you want to.
Dance in the dark.
Yeah, you can dance if you want to after midnight.
So you could have potentially broken that law, Matthew.
Oh, definitely. Well, like in your house, I can understand maybe why. They're very, very strict on the noise limitations after certain hours, like after 10. Very strict. Pretty thin walls and close living spaces. I mean, like, you never really had the drinking culture in Japan is to go out and get smashed, not to have parties in your house, because then you make noise and then they call the coppers on you.
Yeah. So there's a practical element.
Yeah, I would say, but I don't know about the sinful element. Definitely practical.
Yeah.
So sorry, just the rest of that was you can dance after midnight as long as it's not in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you want to get your groove on after 12, it's got to be in a well-lit club.
Interesting.
Or wearing neon pants.
Yeah, I suppose. Bring BYO light.
That's weird, isn't it? I wonder if it's about I mean, it's pretty superstitious. So I wonder if it's about, I don't know, summoning demons or something like that.
No, I would just think it's the kind of prudishness element of, no one's going to get
hips don't want to be touching.
Well, people aren't going to get too handsy and bright neon light, are they?
No, they do that on the trains.
Yeah, right.
Sadly.
But then you kind of get into this area of, nightclub owners arguing about how well lit is well lit enough and all that sort of stuff. So you need cricket umpires there with the light meters coming in.
Yes, and they're calling everyone off. It's far too dark in there.
Wait a minute. Someone's turned a light on. They're back on.
No,
that light's gone out. They're back off. What an entertaining game. Yeah, wow. I wonder if they also, that was their issue with, were they literally walking around with like rulers to separate people? Like it was a year 6 disco?
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that.
Just out of the way. Get out of the way.
Or also kind of, I suppose, the karaoke culture, like the dancing in the karaoke bars, that would be, is that accompanied? Is that a thing? Or do people generally stay pretty focused on the singing in them.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of sitting. That's true. There isn't much. That is weird, actually, when I think about it. It's not a place for dancing.
There's a lot of swaying,
that's
from what I
interesting.
understand.
Yeah, it's a lot of swaying and just a lot of sitting. And I never actually thought about that. I don't
So
remember a
is-
big.
Wake up, sleepy Gene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, what can it mean?
Oh dear.
Well, there you go. I might leave that kind of hanging like an awkward nightclub moment when all the lights get switched on. So, Rich, because you've been on here way back in season 1, I want to. This next thing is, I guess, designed to talk about something that's very close to your heart and get people to know you a little better, and it may get you thinking a little.
Okay.
if
can we
that's
guess?
okay.
Can we guess what it is?
Oh, yeah, well, within a reasonable time frame, I suppose.
Oh, some kind of bread.
Is it?
Oh, so-
Is it a story about bread?
Yeah, close to his heart. He likes bread.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah,
bread.
yeah. Oh, it's not bread, but it's not so far away.
Oh, is it something to do with Dr. Zayas? Is there a Dr. Zayas bread coming out? Is this...
All right. No monkeys, no bread.
That's it. I got nothing.
Yeah, nothing else in the tank. I think it's fair to say, I'm going to put this proposition to you.
Mm.
You bloody love chicken, don't you?
Oh, bloody love it. Bloody love it.
You're well known amongst our circle of friends as a man who just loves getting into a chicken shop and grabbing what he can.
Go what I can. Check it out. I've got to check out the chicken.
In fact, in a podcast that we previously did, we had a bit of a discussion about the idea of you running rickshaw tours around all the chicken shops in your hometown as a bit of a business venture for you. I think it was Rick's Chickshaw Tours from
That
memory.
sounds very, very familiar. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I guess what I want to know is how much do you know about chickens, Rich?
Oh,
I know some. I have met several chickens. They were very delicious and tasty. I accompanied our friend of the show and our friend from school, Paul Hirons. He used to work as a dead chicken picker-upper at an egg shed up in the mountains behind Gosford. So
he did a bit of chicken
that firsthand.
sexing at some point, I think.
Well, I don't know about that. That
Yeah,
might have been
okay.
something he did after hours, but
There you are.
yeah. But he at this stage he was just a dead chicken picker-upper, and I accompanied him on one of those missions, and that was eye-opening to say the least. What are you getting at?
So you know a little bit, but mainly
No, a little bit.
You're
I wouldn't
happy to chow down.
Pretty much, I'd say that's my interest. Pretty much begins when the feathers are removed.
All right. Did you know that? Did you know that chickens can dream?
I did not know this, Stuart. Can you enlighten me, please?
Well, it's research has shown, and research has shown that chickens experience REM while sleeping, meaning they dream like us. They have sleep phases, including one that humans don't experience, called unihemispheric slow wave sleep, which is where one half the brain is asleep and the other is awake. And that,
Huh.
so I don't know.
So they're kind of literally sleeping with one eye open, one half of their brain.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
But I think I was more interested just in the fact, like, what's a chicken dreaming about?
Well, this kind of suggests that a chicken has some form of consciousness, doesn't it? If they're dreaming, like, is there a difference between REM and dreaming? I think it would be very interesting to peer inside a chicken's dream. I'm assuming that they're dreaming of being served up a nice big dinner for Richie boy.
For some reason, I just had an image of you walking around in the dark and then just entering a room and it's a chicken's mind and you're, oh, what's happening in here?
Ooh.
I just had a like 1950s science fiction movie where Ellis has got some weird silver thing on his head. And he's attached it to a chicken's head
Oh.
when he's trying to
It's that-
join the dream of the chickens.
It's that same pulsating sound effect that was in every science fiction movie.
Whoa. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the one.
We need to remake Inception, but with chickens.
Yeah. Chick-ception. It's hard to say.
There we go.
It's too hard to say.
I wasn't there.
No one's going to say it. It's too hard to say. Chick-ception. No.
All right.
Inchection. That's my good.
I might just
Egg-ception.
jump in and move away from trying to pronounce that stuff.
I think
To tell you that chickens have better color vision than humans. So, like humans, chickens can see red, green, and blue light. However, they can also see ultraviolet light.
I was going to say that's quite common amongst birds.
Yeah. What I guess what's the evolutionary need for chickens to see jizz stains on doonas?
There used to be CSI chickens, and they used to go around. There were chicken detectives.
Yeah.
They were the detectives of the bird world, and they would go
They'll
around.
just peck at it. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I haven't seen that TV show where they crime scene investigations where the detectives get in there and just let the chicken peck at things that they can't see. CSI Rhode Island.
There we go.
Yeah. So chickens have complex communication. So they have over 30 unique vocalizations where they can communicate a wide variety of messages to other chickens. All be about green, I would imagine. Could no, it says here it includes mating calls, stress signals, warnings of danger, how they are feeling. That's a bit weird. Throw it in there randomly in the list. And food discovery, how they're feeling. So far we've learnt they dream, they see things like really well, and they feel different stuff.
I think that if there was one animal I would not have imagined with a consciousness, it would have been a chicken.
This is what I'm getting at.
Like you can kind of imagine a cat or a dog or something like that, but I don't know. Chickens just don't seem to. But obviously, they have personalities. I think so. There we go. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think I've heard that before. People say that chickens have personalities, and I haven't quite obviously understood it. But that's on me. That's for not spending enough time with chickens.
So, Buckle, is the root cause here what you're trying to do? Are you trying to guilt me into leaving the chickens alone? Is this part of your grand plan, or is this just a happy side effect?
Well, the making you feel bad was a happy side effect. I just started reading interesting things about chickens.
That's cool.
And then you happened to say that you were able to come on this episode, and
do love a chicken.
I retrofitted some guilt into the telling of this story.
Well,
I wonder if there's a connection between all of this, what they can see and their consciousness and their dreaming, and just how delicious they are.
Oh, so you reckon the more emotive they are,
yep,
the more delicious they might be?
They might be more relaxed because they're working things out in their dreams and processing things. So that's
true.
So we should be inceptioning the chickens to increase the flavour. I like where this is going.
Oh yeah. So if we can double up,
pre-base the chickens, pre-base the chickens in their sleep, in their dreams, so that they're ready to go.
Just make them more delicious.
What are chickens dreaming about? I keep coming back to this because it's a common theory that our dreams are us in a very abstract kind of way, trying to work out things that have happened to us in the recent past. Right?
Yeah.
Well, again, a chicken that's eaten a bit of grain and sat in an egg all day,
yeah,
what's it working out in an abstract way?
I don't know. Babies dream as well. It's a lot of, it's just because they're not, I was going to say they're not reading a book. I don't know why that would be in your dream, but, just because they're not solving life issues, maybe they are.
I thought you were going to say solving crimes. And I thought, what about the
we're back to that. What would a chicken...
You're right, I shouldn't be, I guess, looking at it from too high a horse exactly, because in the last few weeks, my dreams have all been about work admin.
Yeah.
So I'm not dreaming about anything too high level or interesting either. So it's all, did I enter some things wrong into a spreadsheet? So in my reading about chickens, I just came across this article that just had the greatest headline. and I couldn't help but open it and flick through it. The headline is 5 thicken. Oh, fuck me, Dad. What's wrong with me tonight? 5 thicken. Ugh. 5 things your chickens will always remember.
Oh,
Now, that's a great headline.
yeah, that's a
5 things your chickens will always remember. That's clickbait.
I can't
the
stop
highest
thinking of puns. I was
Go
going
on.
to say that's called cluckbait, but that's
Oh, that's all right.
Wow, that was.
Well, excuse me. Where did I say you had to flag puns?
I don't know. I was before thinking of a chicken detective, and if it was a chicken detective, it would be called foul play. Like I don't know. I've got to move
nice.
past
Wow.
chicken puns to
There
try
we
and
go.
engage with the actual conversation. I've drifted away for quite some time. Not helpful.
So you were saying something about chickens?
Yeah, that's right. That was last week.
It's like a chicken trying to think about how to express how it feels to another chicken. You've just kind of drifted off into yourself there.
That's right. Yeah.
Uh,
See, then I know I can't. I have no idea what was just said before I decided to do chicken puns.
yeah. Look, the first on this list here is emotions. So chickens are
Oh.
extremely empathetic, it says, which means they feel emotions very strongly. If one chicken is hurt, the rest of the flock may even show signs of suffering as well. Along with feeling emotions so strongly, they'll also recall a certain situation that caused them to feel that way.
Ah,
So I guess that's what they're talking about with their 30 different ways of communicating.
Are you reading vegan websites against your? What is your source material for this?
I know who it is.
I would
PALTROW.
be very disappointed.
It's all PALTROW.
It's all PALTROW.
Look, I'm not going to go through the whole list because we're probably reaching the point where we've heard enough about chickens. But I didn't know. You know, I just didn't know that they felt so much.
I don't know where we go from here. Whether it makes the chickens more delicious.
Mm.
I still think we need to incept their dreams and find out what's going on.
I don't think any of this is going to sort of find its way into my kind of process of deciding what to eat and cooking.
No, but it's more about when you see live chickens.
yes.
It reframes that, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because usually I just walk past a chicken and go, is this bastard going to peck at me? peck at my shins. But now I'm going to walk past and go,
Is he looking at my jizz stains?
what's...
Does he know? Yeah, has he seen?
Oh, man, I broke our own golden rule. Never pause long enough for someone to get in there with another line. Damn. All right. I've had enough of chickens. Maybe we'll come back to chickens another day, but
It was fascinating. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for more chickens.
All chickens.
all right. Matt, what have you got for us today?
I saw an article zoom past me recently, which was about some weird cheating in a sporting event that you wouldn't sort of expect. And then I just quickly had a look at some other examples of weird cheating in sport. And this all came about because 2 fishermen in Ohio were in a fishing competition and they won. And then when they were weighing the fish, they said something's a bit weird here. And
They were talking about this podcast.
yeah.
Nice.
And they said, but not fair enough. So the official was like, let's open these fish up, which happens from time to time. And when they opened them up, they discovered that the fishermen had put like extra sinkers inside the bodies of the fish, and fillets from other fish had been crammed into the bodies of the fish they'd caught.
It's crazy.
Double stuffed fish.
Yeah. Like almost like a useless turducken. Like I'm just going to put a fish inside a fish.
How dare you? No turducken is useless.
No, I guess not.
Of all the things you could stuff inside a fish to make it heavier,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought another fish.
No. Putting another fish inside that's a move, and it's seemed.
Or was it like a kind of attempt to, if someone got it, they went, "Oh, look, it just eaten another fish just before we caught it. Look."
Just to fill it. It filleted another fish
Yeah,
and then ate it.
Yeah, that's right.
He must have got away lots. Look at all the sinkers inside him. Yeah.
I don't understand. I think of all the things to put in a fish, another fillet would be pretty hard to. You'd need some kind of like, chimney sweep brush, like to push in there, right? Like some small. It doesn't seem like it would be that easy to.
But I just also think all the sports to cheat at fishing.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just that. The psychology behind that fascinates me. Like, I put that up there with, cheating at solitaire. Like it's that same mentality of why would you do it? Like, there is some hefty prizes for fishing competitions out and about.
I guess so. But
Murray Classics, I think it's like 15 grand or something. Like if you're for the biggest Murray cod in the season.
Are you tempted to stuff a Murray cod inside another Murray cod?
So when I looked up other weird cheating, like there was a couple that I already knew, like the Spanish Paralympic team. I think it was the basketball team.
Yes.
In Sydney, they had quite a few of the people who won a gold medal in the basketball
with no disability.
No disability, yeah, no disability whatsoever. And apparently, of the 200 athletes in Spanish athletes, at least 15 had no physical or mental handicap. But I wanted to read you this, was that one of the people who got caught said they didn't even ask me to pass a medical or psychological examination. The only test I had was to do 6 push-ups.
Oh.
So
okay.
I don't know what that shows. This is for mental handicap, for mental disability.
Okay. Is that what you need to do to get on the NDIS as well?
I guess so. I mean, it's hard now. It's probably like 12. Like they've made it harder for everyone to get on it. But just what kind? I don't understand the process of like, we're not even going to test you. Fair enough. That's cheating. But to actually go, all right, do 6 push-ups and then we'll see where you're at. It's just weird. That's what I like about these stories is a lot of them, they just sort of drop this thing and then they just move on. You're like,
move on.
That's an interesting conversation. But the weirdest, I mean, the other one which comes up again and again is this, like the chess guy last year who they reckon he was using anal beads to cheat.
We didn't do a season of this show last year, but you can bet your fucking ring hole that would have been in there if it was.
But I've read the like many articles, but no one's really been able to tell me exactly how that works. Well, like the vibrating device would, like they'd vibrate, which would indicate the move he would make, but I don't know what that means exactly. No one elaborates because the story itself just is like, anal beads tell you what to do, but
well, I'm happy with that though. I don't need further exposition.
I just love the idea that anal beads tell you what to do. That to be their slogan.
Yeah. It would be their slogan. So yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? So I don't know. And a lot of it is, when you read into it, it seems like a lot of chess people being really pissy and saying, no way someone could improve and beat me. So I don't know. That one's a weird one. But here's the one that I think you'll like the most, which I'd never heard of, which was in 2009, a rugby game was happening in England with the Harlequins playing. When the Harlequins are losing a quarterfinal against Leinster, the coach decided that he needed his ace goal kicker, Tom Evans, back on the field. The only problem was that Evans had gone off injured and could only come back on as a blood replacement.
Right.
So
that to slice someone up.
No, the coach gave the winger a fake blood capsule.
Oh, nice.
And so, he obviously chewed on that or whatever he had to do. And so the blood pouring from his face. And so it could come off. But as he was coming off, he gave everyone a wink on camera. Gave everyone a wink and then... So then he got banned for 4 months, and the coach got a 3-year ban.
Oh my God, that is so awesome! Like, does he in the office or something? He's just doing the TV docudrama that no one's going to.
So strange. But the idea that like the coaches like get the luckily I've
why did
blood
they
capsules.
Yeah, I was going to say, why did they have any on hand?
Well, that makes me think now, like, how did that happen more than what we realize? And that when there's blood rules where people were actually just
and
that to
is that even really? And like, I'm not. Obviously, it's breaking the rules, the strict rules of the game. But would you say that it's cheating within the sport? Like, I just feel that it's routing bureaucracy more so than it's actually the act of cheating within the sport. That's my.
Well, if you're getting an advantage from having fresher players.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
you're getting more substitutes than the other team, I guess. I don't know.
It's a bit of a giveaway too when one of your players has got the Dracula fangs that you get in the same pack.
Yeah, it's very wrestling, isn't it? It's very like, oh no.
Easter show and grabs the ghoul show bag.
That's right.
Got the fake blood in the fang. Oh, shit.
It looks so real.
I got the 6 scar as well. That's
Excellent.
Wonderful in
So there you go.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. Richard, you've brought us something weird. What is it?
I have brought you something that I found weird. So it is a couple of weeks old now, but I did find it a couple of weeks ago when it was relevant. There was recently in North Carolina a 9/11 memorial, which from the front is a pair of fireman boots and an axe with a fireman helmet on top of a plinth with the two.
All right, that's
the twin towers.
That sounds pretty.
It's pretty somber. I remember.
Yeah.
So that's when you're looking at it from the front, but when you go around and look at it from behind, the plinth that they've put it on is rather, shall we say, organically shaped, and then the fireman helmet perched on top with no other context of the boots or the axe, which are facing forwards. It basically looks like an enormous stone penis between the twin towers.
Ugh.
And it's pretty. In this day and age, surely public monuments like this go through a fair bit of a vetting process, one would imagine. How does something like this still get up?
Oh, good phrasing.
Oh, yeah. You just wait.
It is true.
Do you know how long I spent on all the double entendres I'm about to tell you?
You do wonder, like, here's what it looks like, and here's my design, that someone needed to say, and what does it look like from behind?
Well, yeah, that was my first question. When, you pitch something like this or to be commissioned, do you give a behind kind of perspective, or is it kind of thing of, well, it's not meant to be viewed from behind, so I won't put that in kind of? Oh,
yeah, but it's obviously an open space from behind as well. Like, it's not as if it's tucked away behind a building or facing up against a building, like where you have to get in.
Hang on, the penis isn't tucked away, is that what you're saying?
The penis is not tucked away. It is in full view.
Will you fuck me? Sorry.
Goodbye, horses.
Buffalo Buckley. Yeah, it's like a path leading up towards the back view of this, as I say, rather organically shaped plinth with a fireman helmet on top. It's very, very obvious.
Yeah.
But it did lead me down the rabbit hole of looking at some other famous.
Well, before you move on, has anyone asked the fire departments whether they're happy with this? That they might not mind that kind of tribute.
Well, I think that a lot of the articles have taken along that, I suppose, that double entendre stance and talking about, get your dicks out for the firemen. I think was one of the suggestions.
Subtle, yeah.
Subtle. I don't think that should be a thing.
You don't think it should be, or you think it should be?
I don't think it should be. I don't think that.
You mean like if you're standing on the street and a fire engine's coming past, all the men just flop out as they go past.
God bless you, brave boys.
I don't think there should be floppage as fire trucks get past either. I especially don't think there should be floppage if you call the fire department because there's a fire in your house and they break in and then you're there flopping your penis around going, by the way,
and
boys.
especially where we spend Christmas, the fire engines come around with Santa on the back giving out lollies to the children. I don't really think that's appropriate either.
All right. I think I'm happy to stand as the first podcast to say don't flop your cocks out at firemen or fire women.
Fire people.
Yeah.
Firefighters.
It's a brave stance you've taken there, Buckland, and I applaud you for it.
I don't care about any kind of, splashback I get because of that. You feel, excuse my phrasing.
Fireys. I think my favourite line, though, is to go to E-Bum's World, who have actually said, have you ever sat there looking at the Twin Towers memorials and thought to yourself, wow, I really wish this memorial had more giant dicks? Just a lovely little line there. And, yeah, this is exactly what it's about. But led me down the rabbit hole looking at some other genital-shaped public art exhibitions. This... Yeah.
Can I just ask, did your wife come and check on you at any point? Going, what are you doing, Rich? What are you searching up here?
I'm just on, grind up. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So, apparently, there's a very famous one near you, Matthew. Is that right? The penis owl.
Yes, the penis owl.
Are you aware of the penis owl?
Oh yeah. That's an institution in Canberra. Is the penis owl? I mean, whilst it is sort of phallic in shape, I think a lot of poetic license is taken. It's just known as the penis owl, and so much so that when the safe sex campaigners came to school last year, they were giving out condoms and lube like they do, but they also were giving out postcards. And if I can find one, I will post it, where it's the penis owl with a condom over the top of it.
Right. Very cool.
So they've actually taken it on board and just accepted, yes, this is the penis owl. Everyone knows it as the penis owl.
I think the thing with the penis owl, it's basically a thumb devoid of a nail on the reverse side, more so than a penis. I think that would be a more accurate way of. It looks like a hitchhiker's thumb, almost that kind of slightly bent, sticking up, and it's almost flat at the top as well.
Yeah, it's one of the things when you come to Canberra where people say, "Oh, the penis owl." The what? The owl that looks like a penis. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of dick shaped, but it's not fireman helmet on top of.
If you have to, like the angle, so to speak, of the penis owl, like if you search more like penis owl pictures and hopefully don't get more owl penises.
Sorry, just let that sentence linger there for a minute, will you?
What I like about this podcast, Buckland, is the amount of phrases that are said on this podcast that have never been said in human history before.
Never said anywhere else. You won't catch a sentence like that anywhere else.
Well, did you know though that the penis owl actually has a brother?
No, I did not.
So the brother to Canberra's notorious penis owl has been erected in northern Serbia.
Oh, come on, Rich.
Come on, Rich. Oh,
and I wish that this was a Daily Telegraph article. However,
don't we all?
This is actually from ABC News. So this was one of their lines. Since the statue's erection a few weeks ago, it has faced stiff opposition from the town's Facebook page. It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of fun.
Just a bit of fun. Someone in the newsroom there was just going, fucking yes, this is my chance.
What else? Yeah.
All the double entendres I've ever wanted to unleash.
Yep. Just trying too hard and being like, what about... cock. Yep, what about it? Oh, no, I was just thinking of words of penises, sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
That's a single entendre.
I'll get one.
Damn it.
Just people shouting things throughout the day. I've got a good one for you. No balls? Is there anything about balls? Oh, yep, that'll work. Yeah.
Did you mention shaft? All right, that's enough from you. Go back to the kitchen.
Oh, yes. And they're really shoehorning it in. That the article finishes with, it's clear, this is a statement from the artist. I did a stylized sculpture of a male owl with an elongated tubular body. It's clear that everybody does not understand contemporary art. Final line from the writer. Roger that.
Wow, that's 70s style.
Roger that.
Yeah.
Penis shaped
But
thing.
it does look a lot more, well, it's a very weird shaped phallus, but it's a bit more phallic, I'd say, than the Canberra owl. If
You put it higher on the phallic scale than the Canberra owl.
It's what I imagine Voltron's penis to look like. Like if the black line just whipped one out.
Oh, there's too many classic sentences.
That's a title. Can you call it Voltron's penis? It's like, are we allowed?
I almost feel I need to cut this episode up into one sentence podcast episodes just because each sentence is so great.
Thank you. So yeah, that's the penis owl's brother. And there's another fantastic There's some fantastic.
That's the penis owl's brother is not a sentence I was ready for.
And also the way he said it, like he was like showing you around. He's a
throwaway.
He's a Picasso. He's a Picasso.
That's penis owl's brother.
You know, it's like the sitcom trope of the Eastern European relative coming to visit.
Penis owl's brother.
Penis owl, Serbian brother. Yoshima, she's so good to see you, penis owl. It's been a very long time.
Oh, God.
Calm down, Serbian penis owl. Have some Slivovich. Yeah, I think I'm mad. Oh, shit. All right, I think we've exhausted the penis, but there's another couple of very tasty looking pictures there. Where there's a fish sculpture.
The fish one in particular is just as phallic as you can get, really.
Yeah.
Obviously you're listening to this. These will all go up on the weird but fair enough, I guess, social. So make sure you're following those, or you won't have the context.
Yeah. Apparently, I have no idea what a podcast actually is, obviously. So I've decided to come with the most visual medium that I could possibly come up with.
If you're listening to this, get on Google and just type in penis fish, type in penis owl, and just see what happens.
Yeah. Type in owl penis even.
Because otherwise
just
it won't
see what
work.
happens.
If you're on safe search, it doesn't work. You got to make sure that you're on the usual channels.
At work, at your work. Yeah.
Especially if you're working for an education department. Highly recommend it.
I think people understand, though, that they can go to a social media channel while listening to something and reference a picture while it's being discussed. So I think we're okay here.
And there's some wonderful ones there. I did kind of delve into these are quite intentional, obviously, a lot of these ones. You start going down the path of some of the religious iconography. So there's a bit of Virgin Mary labia work going on there. And
Jesus.
and that's what she said. And of course there's the wonderful gargoyles that we can see around the place. So we'll post those ones up there. And if you've got some of your own, as I say, I know that there's lots of fantastic gargoyles from around the world. So if we can get a bit of a gallery of genital-shaped sculptures and unintentional, the more unintentional, the better, I suppose. But
the more unintentional, the better. And also the more kind of solemn it's meant to be, the better as well, I would say. Please send them in. Any genital looking monuments that you can find, it's got to look like, it can't just be, Nelson's column or whatever. That's just long and tall. We get that. Like, it's got to really look like some body's bits.
Yeah, we want some meat on the bones.
Yes, we do. Yeah, so please firstly follow the social channels, and secondly cop a squiz at the related photos we'll put up
if
there.
Voltron's penis doesn't get you in, I don't know what else is.
Oh man, I'd really love to use that as a title. I don't know if I should.
Poultry snob. We get over that. Yeah.
This is a classy podcast after all. Oh yeah, I need to keep talking now. I want to give you a product of the week, and it's actually an article I saw today. So this is topical as buggery. Topical as far as we're recording now, not so topical for when this is released in a few weeks' time. But who cares? No one cares about that, do they? You can expect in the reasonably near future to be able to buy a meatball that is woolly mammoth flavored.
Ooh. Go on.
So a mammoth meatball has been created by a cultivated meat company, resurrecting the flesh of the long extinct animals. The project aims to demonstrate the potential of meat grown from cells without the slaughter of animals, and to highlight the link between large-scale livestock production and the destruction of wildlife and the climate crisis. Paraphrasing this article a little, because you can obviously grow meat from any kind of base source now, they've chosen to explore growing meat from mammoth DNA as a bit of a, I guess, PSA, public service announcement around the fact that everybody in the world's meat-eating habits have to change, because otherwise we're going to reach a kind of point of, obviously for climate reasons, but also for, food shortage reasons in the coming decades. And I suppose they've chosen the mammoth to highlight that, it's very easy for sources of food that humans rely on to no longer be around.
All right. How
Cool.
How do they taste, more importantly?
Well, absolutely. Has anyone eaten an elephant?
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, they don't have to go for something extinct. They can just go for something that
obscure.
is probably a bit gauche to eat, right? I want to eat a armadillo. What's that
I
taste
think
like?
human flesh should be like top of the.
Why not?
Take a bit of your own. If you took one of your own.
Actually, I did say why not a little fast. There's probably good reasons why not.
But I think from a pure curiosity perspective, if you know that it's been cultivated, you're losing that moral objection. You're not doing it from. Is it still taboo? I don't know.
Well, here's something interesting. They talked to one of the neurotic nerds who helped develop it, and he said it was ridiculously easy and fast. We did this in a couple of weeks. Initially, the idea was to produce dodo meat, he said, but the DNA sequences needed do not exist. So isn't that weird?
I've heard that dodo is delicious, though. See, that is something that is actually...
From who? Charles Darwin's diaries or something?
Yeah, it's been documented that people say that dodo is the most delicious meat that they've ever eaten. I think dodo and turtle, he said, were the two most delicious.
Yeah, I was going to say turtle was the other one where they went nuts eating turtles because they tasted so delicious.
Yeah.
Well, I suspect, Rich, now that you know how much chickens feel,
Wow.
that you're probably going to be looking for a way to time travel to the past so you can get into
Eating
some
turtles.
dodo flesh.
Yeah. Let's get some dodos going in the backyard. There we go. If ever I needed motivation to build a time machine, I now have it. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm scouring this article. I can't see much discussion about how it tastes, but I'm going to go with delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a parting oddity for you before we go, which is what I do. I like to throw something at you, leave it hanging there, then we trot off, and less said the better, usually. This episode's parting oddity is that rabbits can't be sick. So they're incapable of reverse peristalsis, which means
Oh, they
that
can't
the smooth
vomit.
muscle-
Right.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I
Sorry.
thought you meant they were impervious to any disease. I thought that
Well,
didn't
we know
sound
that
right.
they're not,
Yeah.
because they
Except for-
myxomatosis and calicivirus like nobody's business. No, sorry. All right.
They go hunting for dragons.
Yes, they cannot vomit.
Huh?
The smooth muscle of their esophagus can only move things in one direction, which is obviously towards their stomach. So, yeah, if you've ever wanted to get on the piss with a rabbit, be assured that he's not going to chunder and embarrass you in front of anybody.
He'll just die.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that's why we just leave the parting oddity hanging there.
I think horses are the same, right? Now that could just be something from my brain that's completely wrong, but I have a feeling horses are the same. That horses can't vomit.
Yeah, I don't know why a horse would need to vomit.
Dogs.
Well,
up.
they might eat something horrible.
Well,
did you say dogs can't look up, Ellis?
Sorry.
Always a favorite. That's like pigs can't see stars. That was what a student tried to tell me. And I was like, what are you saying? They're like, pigs can't see the stars. And I'm like, are you saying pigs can't look up? And he's like, yeah, it's the same thing. And I said, no, it's not. Pigs can't see the stars is not the same. And he was like, it is, because they can't look up. They can't see the stars. I'm like, what if I grabbed a pig and turned it upside down? And so what you're saying is that its eyes don't work to see stars.
Yeah.
He's like, well, they could see stars then. I'm like, well, that's not what you said. You've got to phrasing is important. We're in English here. Language is important.
Exactly.
Oh, I guess so.
You're suggesting that pigs just believe in the firmament and not that there's any celestial bodies up there.
They've just got some weird eye problem where they can't actually see light reflected from, suns. And I said, does that mean it can't see the sun? And it was like, oh, if it's above them. I'm like, oh God, no, you're missing the point. Never mind.
What? I think you should just be happy that the student was trying to tell you that rather than that they orgasm for half an hour.
The pig, right? Not the student.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
This is an Angry Chimp podcast.